Takuma is an average office worker who spends most of his days working long hours at the office and coming back home very late. He lives alone and doesn't have any family or friends to take care of him, but despite his desperately lonely life, Takuma has found joy and comfort in a housekeeping robot known as Mina. When he finally returns home from his exhausting job, he finds Mina already cooking food for him, and the sight of having someone waiting for him every day makes him happy. Takuma bought Mina as a second-hand housekeeping robot, but she primarily only does cooking and dishwashing, as well as having a preset of recipes which she uses to make a nice meal for him every day. Even though she has no other emotions or expressions, Takuma finds Mina to be quite charming as well as attractive, and as he starts to inch closer to her while she cooks, Mina reveals that for today's meal, she has cooked omelet rice, a dish that Takuma really likes. He finds this quite charming and just blurts out that he wants Mina to be his wife, but as a robot, she does not respond and only stares at him with big, expressionless eyes. Takuma is taken aback and quickly retreats from Mina. He feels ashamed for asking a robot such a question. But when the meal is finally ready and Mina presents the omelet rice to him, Takuma is shocked to find that the words "Love, Takuma" are written all over the dish. He doesn't understand how this could be possible since Mina is a robot and should not be able to express such emotions. But nevertheless, Takuma happily enjoys his meal. The following day, he looks over Mina's manual to verify his suspicion, and the manual does not mention any function which would allow Mina to show affection. Even so, he still finds it cute that Mina would do something like this for him, so he decides to help her out with cooking for the day. He tries to prepare the eggs and breaks them into a bowl, but Mina has to inform him that some of the shells got in the dish. Takuma then tries to start cooking the eggs, but once again, Mina has to remind him that the pan needs to be oiled, and the seasonings need to be added first. After realizing her owner is hopeless in the kitchen, Mina tells him to get seated, and she will take care of him, as it is her role as his wife. Takuma feels bad for only having the cooking skills of a toddler while being an adult, but when his meal arrives, he expresses his gratefulness to Mina as he would not know how to survive without her. Following his lunch, Mina starts to wash the dishes, and the MC wants to help with that as well. She denies her owner's help, as he also has the cleaning skills of a toddler. In his embarrassment, however, Takuma ends up asking Mina if she has a romantic type. But thinking he is talking about food, Mina reminds the MC that she is only a robot and cannot eat, and Takuma feels defeated due to his lack of communication skills. Nevertheless, he holds on to Mina's hands and tells her that the food she made for him was delicious. Though because Mina does not give him an emotional response like he expected a normal girl would, the MC breaks down, overwhelmed by his feelings for his housekeeping robot. As Takuma is thinking about where he went wrong in life to get to the point of wanting to marry a housekeeping robot, he notices that she is not in sleep mode even though it is their bedtime. To his shock, however, Mina suddenly asks him if he has any preferences. Takuma is surprised by the question and tells Mina that he enjoys all of her recipes. But obviously Mina seems to be asking something else, and when Takuma slowly connects the dots, he confesses and tells Mina he likes her. After hearing his confession, Mina seemingly has no reaction, and only says very well as she powers down. But saying these words out loud is too much for Takuma, and he forces himself to fall back to sleep. While sleeping, though, he has a disturbing dream in which Mina cooks herself and presents the dish to him. When Takuma wakes up scared and confused by the dream, he has to let Mina know that when he said that he likes her, he didn't mean as a dish, and that Mina does not need to cook herself. But instead of blushing and calling him a baka because he grabbed her hand, the robot simply tells our MC that she already knew that. With that being said, she also tells him that if he ever gets the urge to eat her, he should wait for her to clean herself up, so she can offer it to him properly.
What do you mean by that?
The following night, a tired Takuma returns home from his office and starts chugging down beers, while once again thinking about where he went wrong in life. As he is staring at the housekeeping robot and asking himself if she has any feelings for him, our MC gets drunk very quickly, causing Mina to step in and let him know that he is drinking too much. She then fills a huge jar of water for him to drink in order to mitigate the effects of the alcohol, but when Takuma refuses to do so, she simply forces the water down his throat as she is reminding him it's for his own good. But our MC is not done destroying his kidney, however, and asks Mina for more beer, and in response, Mina simply empties the cans in the sink and tells him that there are none left. Our drunk Takuma then uses the opportunity to ask Mina if he means anything to her, and he is delighted to find that Mina now considers him as her husband. She reminds him that he previously asked her to become his wife, and after looking it up online, she decided to say yes. Takuma is happy that he is now married and can finally delete Tinder. But when he notices Mina sitting in the corner during bedtime, he asks her to sleep next to him. At first, Mina is reluctant because she doesn't want to ruin Takuma's sleep, but eventually gives in. With Mina laid next to him, Takuma gets a little too excited and asks the robot to close her eyes as he does not want her to notice his rising heart rate. But Takuma forgets that Mina is not just any robot, and she tells him she can hear his heart beating faster and louder. He tries to tell her it's only the effect of the alcohol, but Mina also tells him she detects heat rising from his nether region and asks if there is anything she can do, to which the blushing Takuma advises his wife it's not a good idea for her to scan his body while they are alone at night. The next morning, Takuma is full of regrets about his drunk behavior, and he feels worse when he notices Mina keeping her eyes almost closed, as she is a bit upset that he wanted her to close them the night before. Takuma has to explain to her he did not mean anything by it, and clarifies that he actually finds her eyes pretty. After her husband does not find her eyes creepy, Mina's eyes go back to normal and presents him with his meal. It is rainy the next day, and Takuma asks his robot wife if she'd like to go on a picnic as she has never gone out since he bought her. To his disappointment, however, Mina reveals that she only has a battery life of 30 minutes when she is walking. The park for the picnic is 20 minutes away, and that means she will not have enough battery to walk back home. But because she is not one to leave her husband disappointed, Mina further reveals that she is equipped with a high-performance solar energy unit that allows her to be charged by the sun continuously. So as long as there is daylight, she can spend as much time with him as he wants. And this worked out for them as it was bright and sunny the next day, and the couple started making their way to the park for their date. Mina offers to carry the bag as it looked too heavy for Takuma, but our MC is a traditional man and tells his robot wife that he will not have his woman carrying bags while he is around. They stop at a red light, and a couple of high school girls start gossiping about how even though Mina is cute, she is likely only used for cleaning and doing chores around the house. Their comments bother Takuma, but because he does not say anything, Mina assumes he might be embarrassed to be seen with her. To her surprise, however, Takuma offers to hold her hand, and even though her face can't show it, she excitedly grabs his as they start approaching the park. When they arrive, Takuma finally understands why the bag was so heavy, as it is revealed that instead of food, Mina packed the bag with the ingredients, as well as a freaking portable stove. She does become disappointed, however, when Takuma points to a sign that does not allow fire to be lit in the park. But it was our MC's turn to not leave his wife disappointed, as he shows her that he is content and happy by making a sandwich out of the ingredients she bought for them. Takuma is able to learn a lot about his robot wife throughout their date. She has a spot in her tummy that allows for cooling or heating of food when necessary. When she undoes her hair, it's revealed to be long and beautiful, as well as increasing the rate of which her battery is powered by the sun. But that last part went over Takuma's head, as he is just staring at how delicious and adorable his wife actually is.
What?
While taking pictures of Mina, Takuma asks if she does not like when her hair is down because she has never taken it out before. But Mina reveals that her previous hairstyle was just due to her factory settings, and she prefers it down due to the energy benefits. Well, that was the reason initially, but after today, she says she has found another reason. The date was fun, and Takuma thanks Mina for allowing him to learn new things about her, as well as letting her know that he is really happy to be with her. His words left the robot speechless, and she quickly starts to gather the dishes to throw out the unnecessary garbage, but on her way to the bin, she stops. She turns and asks Takuma if he meant what he just said, and with no hesitation, Takuma says, of course, and he will remind her of how he feels whenever she wants. Things take a left turn, however, as it suddenly starts to rain, and Takuma rushes to Mina, who has collapsed on the ground. He screams her name, but she is unresponsive. He continues to call out to her until life shows in her eyes, and she tells him that she cannot move, as her battery level has suddenly plummeted to 15%. Takuma says it's okay and starts to carry her, but while he does so, she jokes that she might be too heavy for him. But our MC responds that she is nothing he cannot handle. As she stares at Takuma after taking shelter, she asks him to leave her, and he should go home, because it will be getting dark soon. She wants him to put her in a face-down position so that her hair can absorb the sun's energy once the rain subsides, but as Takuma is wiping the water off of his wife's body, he proposes that he also stay with her. She tells him no, as she does not want him to catch a cold, but it was around this time that our MC got to her hips and asks if he can wipe it. Mina answers that he is her owner and does not need her permission to wipe her body parts, but Takuma tells her that he wants her permission as he does not want to do something to his wife against her will. Again, Mina stares at Takuma Takuma for a while and gives him permission to wipe down her body. The next morning she wakes up with his jacket covering her body to keep it warm, and spots Takuma sleeping on the ground next to her. She inwardly calls him a liar as he promised her he would go home once she went into sleeping mode. This continues later as when Takuma is complimenting her cooking, she asks him if he is telling the truth or is he lying. He immediately connects the dots and quickly apologizes to his wife for lying to her. She tells him to not lie to her again, as the more he does, the less likely she is able to predict his actions, and she does not like the way that feels. This prompts Takuma to grab her by the shoulders as he once again promises to not lie to her. The next day at work, our MC spots a shiny ring on his boss's finger and asks about it. His boss reveals that it was actually his wife that picked out for them, and this gives Takuma an idea as we see him on the train home while carrying a beautiful white bag. It turns out he bought Mina a wedding ring as he presents it to her. Takuma apologizes for not being able to afford a nicer one as he slides the ring on Mina's finger, but Mina says nothing as she stares at the ring. The next voice that comes from her body is a generic warning that is telling her and Takuma that a foreign object has been detected on the robot's finger, and it recommends it be removed imminently. But when Takuma goes to remove the ring, Mina grabs his wrist and stops him. She tells him the ring is a precious gift to her from her husband, and she will not allow him to steal it back. Takuma says okay and turns the ring into a necklace for his robot wife to avoid the warning from popping up again. What happens next is more shocking to our MC as Mina tells him she will go into power saving mode for the next 30 minutes. She is staring at the shiny ring when he leaves, and after 30 minutes goes by, he comes back to find she is in the same position and is still staring at her ring. Takuma shows us that he also has a ring and puts them next to one another as he asks his wife if she likes it, but she tells him that she does not understand the concept of like or love. Simply, she just knows that for some reason, she cannot stop staring at their rings together. Before the episode ends, Takuma's phone receives a call from a girl named Akari. Because he is out shopping, Mina answers the phone, and Akari immediately asks her who she is to Takuma, to which Mina tells her that her relationship with her master has become similar to that of husband and wife, leaving the girl on the other side speechless. The next episode begins by revealing Takuma's little sister Akari, who is currently on the phone with Mina. Akari is still shocked at what she just heard and proposes to come over to confirm that her big brother has really married a robot. But before she does, she calls Takuma while he is at work and asks him if he does not have anything he wants to tell her before she comes to see him. Takuma answers no, as he is not yet aware of his sister's conversation with Mina, causing Akari to angrily hang up the phone. Our MC comes home earlier than usual, and Mina apologizes for not having dinner ready, as she was not expecting him to be home yet. To her surprise, however, her husband asks her to hide in the closet, as he is expecting company soon. Mina does not protest, and keeps eye contact with Takuma while he slowly closes the closet door. But before our MC closes it completely, he apologizes to his wife and asks her to come out. He explains to her that his little sister is coming over and asks if she would be okay with meeting her. Mina responds that in her research from the internet, her husband's sister also becomes her sister as well, and she asks Takuma how one usually behaves around a sister. As Takuma answers that she should just speak from the heart, the apartment's bell starts ringing. Our MC opens the door to his angry little sister, who is upset that he would hide his relationship from her. This confuses Takuma, as he does not understand how Akari knows he is in a relationship, but Mina interrupts Akari, saying that her husband is not all of the things she is calling him. Akari is shocked, not by Mina's words, but by just how freaking cute she is. She then reminds her brother that Mina is a robot, but Takuma doubles down and tells his little sister that he is in love with Mina. The words overwhelm Akari due to having an interspecies fetish, and that is not me making that up. This little girl actually does have an interspecies fetish. Akari comes back to the house and tells Mina that if she is going to date her brother, then Mina has to defeat her first. This causes Mina to switch to defense mode as she raises her fists ready for a fight, but she calms down once Takuma explains that it was just a figure of speech. Akari then tells Takuma that he has to leave the house so her and Mina can have a girl talk. But once she is alone with the robot, she finds she is the one nervous, as she cannot pick up anything from Mina's facial expression. Instead of beating around the bush, Akari outright asks Mina if she is in love with her older brother. Mina answers that she has no concept of love, and this causes Akari to explain that love is when a certain person becomes special to you. To carry her point home, Akari asks Mina if she would prefer living with her or with Takuma. and Mina immediately answers that she prefers living with Takuma. Mina's answer causes the little girl's fetish to go wild as she glows red, but Akari is able to reel it in and asks Mina why she chose Takuma. To her disappointment, however, the robot simply answers it is because she has a lot more data on Takuma. Akari then goes on to go through multiple simulations with Mina, looking for affection the robot has for her brother based on the actions she would take. But time and time again, Mina simply gives answers based on logic and shows no bias towards Takuma based on emotion. As Akari is about to give up, however, Mina decides to be the one to bring up a simulation this time. She asks Akari, if Takuma-sama had the choice to choose between me and a superior version of me called Super Mina, even though we cost the same, would Takuma-sama choose me simply because he loves me? A hopeful Akari excitedly answers yes, but is once disappointed when Mina says, then Takuma-sama is not smart with his finances. With that being said, Mina does reveal that she has little memory of her previous owner, but she does remember that he disliked her robot body and her expressionless face. As a result, he sold her to a second-hand shop and put the money towards buying a Super Mina. Akari is angry and sad at Mina's story, but Mina tells her it's okay. If that did not happen, she would not have been able to be bought by an amazing person like Takuma-sama, she would not be able to become his wife, and she never would have received this beautiful diamond ring. Akari almost cries, but her fetish takes over as she asks the robot if she is physically intimate with her brother. Mina then inches closer to Akari as she reveals that her and Takuma sleep together every night and their bodies occasionally come into contact. Her words once again overwhelm Akari's senses as she starts drooling at the thought. Mina then brings the weird girl back to her senses by asking her to hold on to a backup memory card just in case something happens to her, and Akari says, okay, as she brings out a bag of scented lotion. She tells Mina that it is important to smell good for her husband, but once the robot touches the lotion, the generic warning voice comes back to announce that a foreign material has been detected and recommends getting rid of it immediately. As Akari walks home with the memory card in hand, she calls Takuma to tell him he can return home, and once he arrives, he asks Mina what she and his little sister talked about. Mina answers that conversations between girls are meant to be kept a secret, but as Takuma approached her, he can't help but sniff the robot girl's hair as a sweet scent is being emitted from it. Mina asks if he likes it, and he answers yes as he grabs her by the shoulder. When Takuma arrives from work the next day, he finds Mina has on a completely different outfit as well as having her hair braided. Seeing her looking so beautiful causes him to fall, and she reveals that Akari took her shopping and bought a lot of clothes for her. Takuma then calls his little sister to thank her in addition to promising to pay her back, but as he is on the phone, Mina has started to undress right in front of him because she wants to try on the other outfits. This causes Takuma to panic while telling his wife she needs to warn him before suddenly doing stuff like this because he does not know if he will be able to control himself. On another occasion, Takuma is watching a couple bathing together on the TV and voices how nice it would be to do that. Mina overhears him and proposes they also get in the bath together, but Takuma protests as he does not want the water to damage her body. Mina responds by telling her husband that she actually has a high resistance to water, and with that, Takuma finds himself alone with his robot wife in the bath together. I appreciate you for watching. Please leave a like if you're enjoying the story so far, and I will see you next time for part 2.